right, I believe we are live. Hey guys, welcome to this very disappointing episode of Trading Bitcoin with your host Tone Vays, as the price is not in a good standing. So we're gonna go to the charts and check this out real quick. However, as I go to screen share, due to the coronavirus, of course, and the insanity that is taking place. I am still in Africa. I might be stuck in Africa for quite some time. We will see. I don't really just try to pay attention to what's going on. Dominican Republic Financial Summit has been officially canceled. It's very, very unfortunate, but there's no way we can do it. We actually canceled it a few hours before the crazy announcements of Trump canceling travel from Europe to the US, and the World Health Organization announcing that this is a pandemic. So we pretty much canceled it earlier that day because we've been paying attention to what's going on. Wanted to hold out, as long as I could, but yeah, this is clearly a situation. For the same, I mean, the Bali is still on. I mean, by November, by the first week of November, I'm fully expecting everything to completely blow over by then. It should be a much better. So I apologize sincerely for those that had purchased their flights for the Dominican Republic. We, of course, would either do a refund if you really want, or keep your registration in for Bali. So that's for you guys. Understanding Bitcoin also had to be moved. This event was going to take place at the end of May. That was also going to be irresponsible of us. We wanted to move it to mid-September, right after Honey Badger in Riga. Couldn't do that with the venue we were at, so it's being moved to the first week of October. Okay, those are the announcements. Let's go straight to the Bitcoin chart and see what's going on. We have about 400 live viewers. It is still morning in New York. Maybe more will trickle in. I am gonna keep an eye on the live chat. And my Telegram as well. All right, guys. Okay, so we're going to still start with the higher level time frame and see what the hell is going on. This was not good from a TA perspective. Now, TA is not the best in a panic. TA, for me personally, usually works much better in calm environments. This is panic selling, obviously, and not enough buying demand. But we did fall down to support that I've been talking about for a very long time. This is the combination of a Fibonacci line and the 200-week moving average. This is what I was looking for reasonable support. Now, I will change this. I have it at 76.4, but a lot of people are using, I think, 78.6. So I want to see where that line is. So that line is actually significantly lower. I'm going to stick with my 86.4 for now. Okay, and there you go. So the big question is the low in? Is the actual secondary low in? And to be honest with you, I think it's too early to tell. It really is. The other obvious question, did Tone Vays buy this dip? And absolutely not, because I was rushing to the hotel room to do the stream from the Blockchain Africa conference. I spoke there yesterday, and I didn't actually left the conference. I was doing an interview with CNBC South Africa, did like a 30-minute special, and then I had an interview with Forbes. And that's when the crash happened while I was doing these interviews. So there will be a 30-minute special with me on CNBC South Africa, not with Crypto Man Ran. It was a different show with CNBC Africa. All right, how are we doing on the live chat here? So we are bouncing a little bit. This is a weekly chart. Today is Thursday. We still have some time, so it's hard to say where we'll end. But for now, this was obviously the Sequential did a really good job getting you into a short trade on a weekly scale with a red 2 below a red 1. Once again, I personally don't like taking trades after an expanded 1 candle. So this would have been, even if I was actively trading, it would have been challenging for me to short Bitcoin at this price. Also, it's insane to short Bitcoin to begin with. But let's just say I wouldn't be in a rush to buy. I would have been very interested in buying Bitcoin around this $5,000 price, but not at the moment because it fell so steeply. And it's very possible there could be an additional low, especially if the stock market doesn't even open. We got to keep an eye on the futures market. And I'm actually hoping that this is, I am going to be here when the stock market opens. I am planning to do this video for at least an hour. And I do want to see where the stock market opens and if it opens. So that's the other very critical aspect to it. I haven't looked at any of these charts, so we are all looking at these together. So what does the weekly chart tell me? The weekly chart tells me that Bitcoin is in serious trouble. This is a bad-looking weekly candle. There is nothing in this candle that is telling me that the bottom is in. Nothing. You can look at the oscillator of RSI, and the RSI is clearly headed from overbought into oversold. We still have room to go based on the RSI. We can look at the MACD. The MACD has just crossed over. So the MACD is telling you that the bearish element, like the weekly bearish chart of Bitcoin, according to MACD, is just starting to fall. And once we cross the 0 line with both of these lines, that makes it even more bearish. So on the MACD side of things, I mean, going below this area only makes it more bearish. Why are these lines so thick all of a sudden? Okay, so that only makes it more bearish. The CMF has just got into bearish territory. And when it does get into bearish territory, it usually stays there for quite a bit. I mean, in 2018, it didn't stay there for much, but we're still in the beginning of the bear market. We stayed there for quite a bit here and here. So the CMF is just starting to get bearish. I can look at the stop and reverse points. Obviously, we would have crossed one of these. Right, so we crossed the stop and reverse point early on in this candle, and down we go. So those that have got their short trades in, you've done well. There's nothing here on this weekly candle yet that tells me that the bottom is in. So we have to take the wait and see approach and see what happens. Hey, Patrick, I see you. Hey, thanks for shooting over the questions. Shoot over the questions to me in Telegram, Patrick, or I should say Bitcoin Motorist. Shoot them over if you see good questions, and I will try to get to all of them. Okay. Next, let's go to the daily chart. The daily chart is usually my bread and butter. The first thing I'm going to look at is the BitMax funding rate. The BitMax funding rate finally crossed into bearish territory, which means that this is now favoring the bulls. That means that on BitMax in leverage trading, Bitcoin is oversold. You can see that this is one of the lowest candles, or one of the low. I mean, you have to wait till the day closes, so you don't know where this is going to end. You still have half a day to go. But right now, this is the worst we've seen since May of last year. And if I raise it up to here on the actual funding rate and not the difference in the contracts, this takes us over to same thing, the worst we've had since May. So now let's go take a look at what the environment was like back in May. And we were just getting out of the lows here at approximately the same price, actually, about $5.6 thousand for a Bitcoin. So these red arrows that I had drawn long ago have, finally proven themselves. We are now sitting at a price that I anticipated Bitcoin going to earlier on in the year. Bitcoin went way further up than I anticipated. As far as the sequential is concerned, this is a red 5 candle. I'm still going to expect my 9. And in order to get that 9, we would need a lower price than the close of current candle. The current candle still has half a day to go. So we have no idea where this candle is going to end. This candle could end above 7,000. This candle could end down at 4,500, in which case I would win my bet with Crypto Man Ran. A bunch of people are texting me now back about that bet, and I'll just mention it real briefly. Crypto Man Ran of South Africa Crypto Trader, where I am, but I don't believe he's here. Otherwise, I would have met up with him. We made this bet during consensus last year around this candle. I believe we made this bet around May 12th, or actually May 13th, something like that. The price of Bitcoin was approximately $8,000. It might have been May 16th, somewhere in this area. And price of Bitcoin was around 8,000. Yeah, I think it was around here somewhere. And right around this 9 candle, you just check the dates of last year's consensus. We made the bet here, and I said that Bitcoin would fall to 4,500 before the halving. Of course, I expected to win that bet, a few months later, like what happened with Doug Polk. Crypto market didn't do what I wanted it to do. So here we are, and it's an unfortunate situation. Clearly, I didn't predict the coronavirus. I'm just a TA guy, but I have been skeptical on the price of Bitcoin going higher for 2 years, and wasn't always right. But right now, I would be cautious. But here's the best news. I am very close to becoming a full-blown bull. This is the capitulation I was waiting for. I'm going to wait this out. I had all these plans to do safaris and spend money, and that's potentially going to be in jeopardy because at this point, I don't really want to spend money because the price of Bitcoin has crashed. And I'd rather use that money to maybe buy more sats in the very near future. So the question is, will I be able to time the low? And I am talking in the first person because I mean that I care if I time the low. I'm sorry guys. Like as much as I love the fact that some of you that watch me or don't watch me time the low perfectly and make money. I want people to make money, but I want people to make money honestly. I don't want people printing their own money. This is why I call everybody a scammer that prints their own money. But I want everyone to do well. I want everyone to succeed as a trader. And this free channel hopefully is educating them on how to do that better. I would love to buy Bitcoin on a 9 with one more capitulation. That would be the ultimate buying opportunity for me. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I would love to see one of these giant candles on a 9, and that would create a perfect buying opportunity. Now, nobody wants Bitcoin to fall really fast. This will jeopardize the mining structure. Everyone wants to be a moon boy. I've dealt with my criticism long enough, and I want to be a bull too. I want to go on national TV and talk about how Bitcoin is going to $1 billion a coin. But at the moment, that is just irresponsible. I was a bear almost, I would say 95 to 98% for the last 2 years plus. And I remain so as of this second. As of right now, I am still a bear on Bitcoin. I am still anticipating lower prices for Bitcoin. It may or may not happen, but that is what I am anticipating right now. But with every day getting us closer and closer to the halving, I am waiting for my opportunity, as they say, to go all in. Those of you that played in the unconfiscatable poker tournament know that I am not scared to go all in. And for those wondering, yes, I did win the unconfiscatable poker tournament, and we're looking for that. So far, our low is 5,720 on Bitstamp, and at the moment, I don't see why that's not going to be broken to the downside. 12-hour chart puts us back in this downward channel that we famously broke. So now that we're back in this channel, there is actually we're standing right in the middle of the channel. This channel was very, very useful. And is that a 9? Oh, it's below the candle. Okay, so that's a 9 on yeah, so we just kicked off a new setup. We're still in the countdown phase. Will the middle of this channel hold up the price? I don't know. Now, all the metrics are oversold on a 12-hour chart. Let me take a look at the metrics on a daily chart. I actually don't have the RSI or MACD. And at the moment, since I am looking at I have like the free version at the moment. I'm being a little cheap, saving every Satoshi. So I'm not currently paying for my TradingView account. I'm sticking to the free version. So I can't actually pull up additional indicators because I don't have the opportunity. But what I can do is I can probably change this to a daily time frame, and I would be able to see the same indicators. Beautiful. So here's a daily time frame, and they are grossly oversold. But just because they're oversold doesn't mean they can't be more oversold. Things can always get more oversold. And therefore, you have to wait for these metrics to turn around a little bit. And right now, they're just crashing. So this is not enough for me to buy in. I want to see a full reversal of these indicators. Let's go back to the 12-hour chart. And here we are. Okay, so the 12-hour chart, can we get to the bottom of the channel? Yes, that's approximately 4,500. Can we get under the channel? The answer is, of course, yes, because we got above the channel, but I don't think so. I don't think we're going to go below the channel. We might be in this channel for a little while going into the halving, but the halving really sets up a good opportunity to buy the dip. However, you need money to buy the dip. And if you got wrecked going long and at any point, you may not have enough money to buy the proper dip. This is why I've been patient and remained a bear for the last 2.5 years. I am willing to look foolish in the short term as long as I am right in the long term. That is always more important to me. My capital preservation is always more important to me. And I am very curious where the stock market opens and where GBTC opens. Ooh, now that I'm looking at the 4-hour chart, unfortunately, we were never able to break this green line to activate this upper green arrow. I don't know how useful the sequential is right now on lower level timeframes. I wouldn't really use it on lower level timeframes. To me, the sequential still has plenty of room to the downside on both the daily and the weekly. This is how you should be trading sequential. The weekly goes bearish the week of March 2nd. Okay, the daily goes bearish right here with the red 2 below red 1 back in February. So that's way earlier, right? Now, this right here is March 8th. So probably the weekly went bearish right here where the daily was still on a red 1. So that's not perfect timing. But right here on March 9th, the daily activates the short trade according to sequential on a red 2 below red 1, and that's March 9th. If I go back to the weekly, this candle began on March 9th. So this is a red 3 going below a red 2, probably the day after this happened. So right around here, this is where your weekly goes bearish and your daily goes bearish, and you're breaking and you have just broken double moving average support, and you have just broken the lucid SAR, and everything lines up for a catastrophe from a TA perspective, a virus or no virus. The TA is telling you, look, you don't have to short, but you want to be careful. You certainly don't want to buy. This is not a buying opportunity. And here we are. So this is the 4-hour chart. The sequential is telling us we still have more downside. I mean, everything is more downside. Like, look, I wouldn't be surprised if we're breaking 2 new lows before I get off this stream, because right now I see nothing bullish in this market. I am anticipating what a GBTC looks like at market open, because today or tomorrow could be a decent opportunity to buy in to Bitcoin. I may or may not do it. We will see. I got to take it day by day. So my problem is this. Tomorrow morning, I am off to a safari. So I will have possibly no internet access for the next 2 days. So for the next, so I'll have internet access for the next, I don't know, 16 hours or so. And then I'm off to a 2-day safari in South Africa, the north side of South Africa. Now, for those curious, I'll be at Kruger National Park. So, I mean, I'll be hanging out with the lions, probably way safer from Corona, hanging out in a safari. But I don't know if I'll have internet access or not. I don't know if I'll be bringing you streams the next 2 days. And I don't know if I'll have the opportunity to buy into GBTC or Bitcoin tomorrow when the market opens at all, assuming it opens. All right, where we got? What is this? The CNE Futures, don't really care. Bitcoin dominance is ticking up again, but it doesn't look like it's ticking up all that high. It doesn't look. It looks like Bitcoin is driving the way down, not the shit coins. It doesn't look like there's all that much exodus out of the shit coins. This is going to be interesting. I should probably update this. I really thought this would be lower because let me see what this looks like. Maybe I have to update the chart. No, it's still looking good. This is minor profitability. Maybe it's on a delay, but I really would have thought this would be lower than this. This is how much money miners are making on any given day. And I've always expected it to give us a double touch of this bottom line, which means we have to go to 3,000 before the halving or 6,000 after the halving. I have been saying for a little while now that 6,000 after the halving is a lot more likely than 3,000 before the halving. That doesn't mean that 3,000 before the halving can't happen. Now, a lot of people are asking, what about the $1,000 target by Tyler Jenks of Hyperwave and the Tone Vays $1,500 target that everyone's maybe making fun of for well, forever, actually. Are they back on the table? I really hope not. I really don't want to see Bitcoin go to 1,500 at this point. I would have been very happy to see Bitcoin fall to $1,500, you know, back in 2018. Like at the, you know, like by Christmas 2018, I would have been very happy to see Bitcoin at 1,500 because I would have went all in. I would have sold everything, like everything. Like if I had a longer beard, I would have sold that for charity, anything, right, to buy into Bitcoin. But not now. Like if Bitcoin falls to 1,500 in 2020, especially after the halving, holy shit, is there going to be fear and like businesses in crypto will get destroyed? Like, no, I don't even want that. Okay, so what is my perfect buying opportunity? Probably around 4,500, probably around that area. But again, we need that 4,500 before the halving. After the halving, I really don't want to see Bitcoin below 6,000. Bitcoin below 6,000 is after the halving is going to be very, very scary because that does start to put the mining industry in jeopardy with a $6,000 Bitcoin after the halving. So just keep that in mind. Okay, let's go through the rest of the charts. These are the top 10 shit coins. And whoa, look at Bitcoin. So let's take this back to early, to the beginning of the year, and we can see, are there any shitcoins still outperforming Bitcoin since the start of 2019? Because using the start of 2020 is just not enough data, and it doesn't make any sense. So it looks like the BSV scam of a scam is finally not outperforming Bitcoin. Now the Binance security token still outperforming Bitcoin by 25% since that time. So we'll see. Ripple is, of course, the worst performer with down 72%. Gold is pulling back hard. And this is, look, the TA on gold looked very, very good a few days ago, probably last time I did this podcast. Gold is still in a bullish posture. Gold has broken a couple of moving averages, but it has the big kahuna, the 200-day moving average coming up, and 15 to 1600 should potentially hold up the gold price. However, silver I don't really care about. However, if the global economy really does go into a big shit spin, you know what? I don't know if someone's asking to get Willy Woo on. I would love to get Willy Woo on. Let me I'll shoot him over the link. I shot Willy Woo the link to join the live stream. I mean, if he sees my message, don't ping him, guys. Please don't bother Willy. I'm sure he's busy trading. But I just sent Willy a message to see if he wants to join. And if he does, we'll see. Okay, what was I doing? I was gonna do something else. I already forgot what I was gonna do. Oh wait, I sent Willy the wrong stream, the wrong link. Hold on, give me a second. I sent him the YouTube link to watch, not the Zoom link to join. How do I get invite? Okay, hold on. Copy URL. Okay. All right. There it is. All right, cool. If he sees my messages and wants to join, he'll be more than welcome to come and provide his opinion, and I will try to keep an eye on that. We are up to 1,600 viewers, guys. Some people came in late. I'll just do a very quick recap. The weekly chart still looks bad. Yes, we are at support, but I'm not going to rush into assuming that the support will hold. We're only on a 3 of 9 sequential, and this can certainly go lower. I am not ready to call this the low, not yet, but it's possible. This was, and whoa, I was anticipating this 200 week moving average to hold up the price of Bitcoin. Remember, Bitcoin has never gone below the 200 week moving average. And I believe I've stated at other podcasts that yes, this is possible. Bitcoin is not a stranger to being in uncharted territory. It just got really loud here. I don't know what's going on. Maybe the generator kicked in. I hope I don't lose Wi-Fi, because like here in South Africa, they cut off electricity every day in different regions. So maybe that's what that generator is doing. Let me close the window. Hold on. Yeah, so everywhere you go in South Africa, you have to deal with like 4 hours of no electricity in your neighborhood. If you're lucky, it's in the middle of the night for you, but they always rotate. So it just gets crazy. Let me charge my devices while I have power. Let me close the window. Yeah, so that was clearly a giant electric generator right outside my window. Okay, so a quick recap, the weekly chart, this is reasonable support. I'm not surprised Bitcoin bounced, but you have to give it time. The weekly candle still has like 3 days to go. Like anything can happen. So I'm gonna wait and see till this candle closes before making any assumptions whether this is a buy the dip situation. I'll tell you this, if the $5,700 low was on a daily 9 and not a daily 5, I would have called it. I would have said, hey, this is where I'm going to try and catch the knife. Those of you that remember, I attempted to catch the knife on the daily S&P off of this 9. I went in a little bit early, which was unfortunate, but I tried to catch the falling knife here. If I moved, the Dow had this as a 9. So, and this turned out to be a slightly profitable trade, but not the kind of trade I anticipated. So same thing with the S&P. I am now, right now I am not trying to catch the knife on the S&P. I will wait for yet another 9, but most likely I am waiting for the sequential 13 to show up. This 9 is now the beginning of a downtrend. This is how I trade the sequential. I will wait for the countdown phase to complete. So going back to Bitcoin, Bitcoin is not in a countdown phase. It's only in the setup phase. So I will wait for that 9. I would not buy this dip because it's not on a 9 sequential. And if I miss the dip, then I miss the dip, okay? I'd rather buy it on the way up. This is why I've been a bear for the last 2 years. I've been waiting for a good opportunity to go in long-term into Bitcoin. I'll admit I missed it over here. I went in long, but only as a short-term trade, not as a long-term trade. But if I get another opportunity so close to the halving, I will do it as a longer-term trade. All right, we got a bunch of questions. Motorists, send them my way. Let me just go through these charts real quick one more time. Oil. I expected oil to go to 20. This is the weekly chart of oil. Oil is actually holding up, but I mean, these are cheap oil prices. No one's going to be using oil because no one's going to be traveling. So I'm not surprised it would fall. I'm really watching the S&P. I want to be here for the open. We have 30 minutes to go. I will be with you for the stock market open because I am very curious what's going on there. All right, the weekly S&P, this is the daily S&P. Let's go to the weekly S&P. So this is a potential buying opportunity for me. Unfortunately, it's not coming out with the sequential. So if I get a daily 9 at the 200-week moving average on the S&P, that could be my second chance to try and buy the dip because my first chance to try and buy the dip didn't work. So I will give it another shot in my retirement account to buy the dip like this. This was also a very panicky situation. I don't remember what it was in 2018 that caused this panic because I've mostly been paying attention to the crypto market, not the stock market. I don't remember what caused this. I remember what caused the previous one. Those were the Trump elections. So that's what caused these things. So that was back in 2016. So here we are again. And I would be looking to buy the dip at the S&P 500. I mean, the coronavirus probably has maybe 2 more months of really insanity. And the stock market usually pre-runs everything. So the stock market will probably reverse long before there's actually a cure. Can I look at the Footsie? I know I'm skipping like a million questions. Oh, the bonds. The bonds were collapsing. Look at the bond rate just shot up. I mean, I may not be back in the US for a while. I may be in Africa for an extended period of time. I may get stuck in Africa, though, like I was saying earlier, I'm going on a safari tomorrow. I think the safest place to be is out in the middle of a safari hanging out with lions than in the middle of, say, New York City at the moment. So I am looking forward to spending time in a safari. I'm significantly minimizing my risk of getting the coronavirus. I'm increasing potentially other risks, but thank God I have malaria medication for over 2 months. I bought an extra month of malaria pills, so I'll be okay. I hope. And there's lots of places in Africa I can go visit after, so we'll see what happens. Okay, I'll take a look at the Footsie real quick. Oh no, this is my code. Let's not go there. Footsie 100. Nope. Where's the Footsie? What's the ticker? Footsie 100. Oh, I guess that one, but I would have thought it would be Great Britain. Here we go. No, that's iShares. What's the ticker, guys? Is that it? But that's not the British flag. That's like the Netherlands. What am I missing? Let's do this. Indices. Ah, UK 100. That's what I was missing. Boom. Let's go do this. There's your Footsie. All right. Let's see what we got. So this is the daily Footsie. The 9 didn't come, so we're dealing with this 9. See, this 9 kicked off the countdown phase. And there's your countdown phase, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And this is the potential buy the dip opportunity on the Footsie, but the Footsie is not a leader. The US markets are leaders, especially with the coronavirus in play. So this is what I'm waiting for. This is my buying opportunity in the S&P 500 on the sequential 13 daily chart. Daily chart, as you can see right now, we are on probably like a 5 or something when it loads. We're on a 3. So we're on a, so today is going to be a 4. So I am going to look for that combo 13 or sequential 13 there. All right, let's go to your questions. All right, Patrick, thank you for getting me the questions. Tone on a weekly, I am seeing crossing the 0.76 retracement. So it really depends on where you set your Fibonacci's. I set my Fibonacci's with a starting point of the 2018 low, well, the 2019 low, I would say. And that's the high. You could be using a different price. You could be using not Bitstamp, and yours is crossing, mine isn't. That's not a big deal. Next. SPX 500 USD is live futures on TradingView. Okay, let's go take a look. ES is the tradable one. SPX 500 USD. It's about the same. I don't see a big difference between ES and NES, but there they are. There they are. I will say that when the S&P opens, it's going to open on the weekly 200-day moving average support, probably even lower than that. So we'll see what happens. But the Dow is the leader here. Where is it? DJI. Right, so it's the Dow. Look, the Dow broke the 200-day way earlier in the count. The Dow bounced perfectly off the 9 here, and the Dow is already on a 5 sequential. So I really should be watching the Dow, not the S&P, for potential in market reversal here. All right, let's see what else we got. Well, Link is a scam coin, and it should be completely irrelevant. Link, USD, Binance. Chainlink is a scam. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. And the sooner this thing goes to 0, and those that believe in it lose all of their money and maybe other people's money, the sooner they will learn their lesson as to what is a scam in the crypto space. So yeah, good luck. What happens if we get below the 200-week moving average? Nothing happens. If we get below the 200-week moving average, we will do something that people say is impossible, and they will learn that in the markets, nothing is impossible. So nothing really happens. The big question that you have to look for is if Bitcoin, and by the way, it's very likely that Bitcoin will cross below the 200-week moving average. The important part is not whether it's below or above the 200-week moving average. The important part is that the 200-week moving average doesn't roll over, start to decline. The price of Bitcoin falls, let's say, to $4,500. Tone Vays wins the most expensive stake in the world. That cost him, half of his life savings by holding on to Bitcoin. And then the price of Bitcoin bounces back to the 200-day moving average and is unable to break it to the upside. That creates a potential disaster, okay? That creates a situation where we get one of these, and where the price of Bitcoin falls below this 50-period moving average, it pulls back into the 50-period moving average, and then from that point, it falls, God knows how many percent, from $8,500 down to $3,000. That is a 66% correction, folks. So you don't want that. So if the price of Bitcoin falls to 4,500, then goes back to 6,000, and then has a 66% correction, that means that the price of Bitcoin is going to $2,000. That's what you don't want to see. At this point, I am not looking for 1,500. If we get anywhere near below 3,000, that is enough, because the $1,500 target was only applicable in the current halving environment. The $1,500 target is not applicable for me to the next halving environment. So while my absolute floor at the moment is still 1,500, this close to the halving, I'm already raising that floor to 3,000. Now, me raising the floor to 3,000 creates a problem for me, because I don't believe in double bottoms. Maybe it'll be long enough between the $3,000 bottom. So, and this bottom is at 3,150. So technically, a $3,000 bottom is not a double bottom because 3150, but to me, it's close enough. So what would happen is either we need to bounce from the vicinity of 4,000 and start to go to the upside, or we got to go all the way to 2,800 and have enough separation between the prior low and the current low. Okay, so those would be the ultimate targets if the catastrophe precedes itself. Okay, let me see other questions. What's the percentage chance that the bottom is in? That question needs to be more specific. The percentage chance that the $3,000 bottom is in, I would say that's a good 60 to 70% chance that the $3,000 bottom is in. What's the percentage chance that this bottom is in? Less than 50%. In fact, I'm only going to go as high as 25% chance that 5,700 is going to be the low for 2020. I don't believe this will be the low for 2020. I think we are going lower than that. We can go lower than that today, right? So I'm only giving it a 25% chance that 5,700 is the low. Maybe I should even go less than a 20% chance. I don't believe this is the low. I do believe we are going to go lower. Doesn't mean I'm right. Tone, don't you think this market will be affected because of Corona for at least 6 months to a year and be very uncertain? No, I don't. People that speculate in speculative markets think way ahead of time. I don't think so. I think the amount of value that has already been lost and the big crash that already happened in the S&P, I think that people will speculate that it really is not going to go any lower. And these giant capitulations do present good buying opportunities for the long term. So I don't think this will linger for 6 months. I really think that if we continue falling, not even at the same giant rate as we already have, if we continue falling straight down over the next 30 days, I think that would probably be it. Now, if we bounce, if we, let's say next week, the stock market bounces, let's go with the S&P again, right? Now, if next week the stock market bounces off of the 200-week moving average and goes back to $3,000, and then there is, more fear that the coronavirus isn't being handled, and then we start to go down again, then sure, then we could have an extended bear market for a longer period of time, 4 to 6 months. But at the current rate of falling, either we need a full V-shaped bottom, and V-shaped bottom is coming either way. The question is the V-shaped bottom going to take us back to new all-time highs, or is it only going to take us halfway and then we're going to have new lows? And there's no way to tell at this moment. We're going to have to find out once we go back and retest these moving averages here. Okay, good question though. 5K turning point. I don't know. Let's see. Where's 5K? What is this? That's 5,300. Where is this setup trend line? This setup trend line is at 5,000. I trust the setup trend line. I think 5,000 is a potential turning point. Now remember, 5,000 has not done anything for Bitcoin unless you go all the way back to 2017, because I very famously called the $5,000 top right here at the end of August, and I called it to within the hour of the top and to within $25 of the top. That was one of my calls. I did the same thing on the $3,000 top. So it would be nice for 5,000 to once again be relevant. So I will be watching the $5,000 mark. Like if we go to 5,000 and don't go to 4,500, it's gonna suck buying Ran a steak, but it's all good. Hey Ran, we gotta hang out, man. It'll be fun. But I will certainly lose the bet, and I will say that, I'll admit it, but it'll come close. Look, personally, I want Bitcoin to be $1 million a coin, but I have to be realistic because that's why people come to this channel. Speaking of coming to this channel, thank you to 1,700 viewers that are watching it. I no longer really teach workshops these days, so please support using the affiliate page. If you're, well, no one wants to spend Bitcoin at these prices, but when Bitcoin price goes back up and you want to spend your Bitcoin, the Embly card is something that I use, and it's absolutely awesome. Trading view, exchanges if you're a trader. I am like, I wish I was trading traditional markets right now. I'm going back to trading next year. It's too late for me to, like, I can't, I'm not even like home, right? So I'm not sure where home is going to be. But next year, you will not see me traveling other than my own conferences. So enjoy them while you can. Speaking of my own conferences, Dominican Republic, unfortunately, has been canceled. Very sorry for those that registered and bought flights, including myself. I had a flight down to Dominican Republic. It has been canceled. And everything is going to be in Bali. All those people that were coming to the Dominican Republic, they'll all be coming to Bali instead. So Bali is most likely going to sell out. I have full confidence in that. And understanding Bitcoin has been moved to October. The situation with the virus is not looking very good at the moment, but I fully expect it to be better by then. So we are moving the event to October 1st to 4th. Okay, back to the charts. What was I talking about? I don't even remember anymore. Let's go to the next question then. Next question. Wasn't an event like this supposed to be Bitcoin's big moment? It seems people don't see it as a store of value at all. Carlo, that's a good question. It wasn't for me. See, I've tried to explain multiple times on this YouTube channel. So we're going to look at gold. We're going to look at the weekly chart of gold, and we're going to go back in history into 2008. Okay. So we're going to go back to the financial crisis of 2008. And you will see right here that in the beginning of 2008, gold made a new all-time high of $1,000. And then during the 08 financial crisis, remember, the 08 financial crisis ended in March of 09. But during the financial crisis, the price of gold fell 33%. 33%. Okay. And that showed me that gold is not a safe haven for an economic collapse, because during an economic collapse, you have to feed your family. And if, for example, you are a grandparent and you were 60 years old in 2008, and you happen to have gold teeth, because back in the day, replacing your teeth with gold teeth was something that people did because gold is such a great element for your teeth. Not necessarily you were a rapper 20 years earlier, but you could have been. And what are you doing in this environment when gold is at a new all-time high? You are going to the dentist. You are saying, hey, my kids and my grandkids need money, and I have gold teeth. So I'm going to go and sell my gold teeth, and I'm going to get US dollars or whatever, and I'm going to put food on the table. So during times of high economic stress, you sell things that will put on food on the table. And Bitcoin is still a very speculative asset. It's not going to save you in a bad economic environment. The best thing for Bitcoin is a good economic environment, as a good economic environment with a frustrating banking sector. That's perfect, okay? Or fear of potential financial confiscation, or fear that the euro is going to break up, or fear that your taxes are going to go up. These are the environments that help Bitcoin. An economic shutdown hurts Bitcoin quite a bit, and I've said this on many, many occasions. Okay, next. 2 minutes ago, 3,000 BTC transferred from unknown wallet to Bitstamp. A dump is coming. Maybe, potentially. I don't know if Bitstamp can absorb 3,000 Bitcoin. I'm not sure. We'll find out. Tone, look at the 200-week moving average. It looks like we are expecting a second bounce as we had last year. Well, I've been looking at the 200-week moving average this entire video, right? We had a double bounce off that moving average. Can it happen again? Maybe. Guys, I honestly think that the 200-day moving average is going to break this time. Maybe not by long, maybe it'll break for a few weeks. I really think it's going to break. I know I'm still a bear. I may change my mind tomorrow. Bitcoin is still holding well. It's not falling that hard at the moment. We'll see what happens. I think there'll be a little, I mean, we fell a lot. We can pull back, certainly. I still think another low is coming. And I mean, this red line is here for a reason. I honestly expected Bitcoin to fall right into this apex of $5,000, but I expected it on March 5th. And we did not come, well, we're not at 5,000 yet. We're only at 5,700. So if we fall down to this line, it's still around $5,000 later on this month or next month. All right, next. Thank you, Andreas, for your check donation. I think it's too late to sell stocks now. ETF, crypto. Okay. I would wait for an entry. Like, I would not be shorting in this environment because it can turn around at any point. If you were not short, like, look, the time to short Bitcoin was around this 9, which is, you know, a potential shorting opportunity, or in this vicinity here, or in this vicinity here. This is not the time to short Bitcoin. This is the time to look for a buy to dip situation. Even if you're anticipating significantly lower prices, like I would not short Bitcoin at 6,000, looking for 3,000. This is not the same environment like when I shorted Bitcoin at 6,000 over here. I was way more willing to short Bitcoin at 6,000 in this vicinity, looking for 3,000. This was a very different environment for multiple reasons. First of all, we were at the front end of the 2-year bear market, not the back end of the 2-year bear market. We were also consolidating and making lower highs at 6,000. We were consolidating for 6 months. Okay, for the same reason why I was buying Bitcoin a little prematurely at 4,000. This, even though my target was 1,500, I was a buyer here because of the oversold condition. I was buying on this 9 right here. I was buying Bitcoin. I was buying Bitcoin here I think I even bought it a little earlier. I might have jumped in prematurely. I was buying Bitcoin here. I should have just waited for the 9. Look, guys, I get impatient too. I pre-run my own indicators too. If I was home and concentrating on trading and only trading and not making YouTube videos, I would be more patient. If I had the opportunity to sit in front of a computer all day, I would be more patient. But like I said earlier, tomorrow I'm going on a safari and I'm gonna be probably no internet for 2 days. I mean, hopefully my cell phone connection will work and I can bring you guys a stream with a lion in the background. That'd be cool. But if it doesn't happen, then I won't have internet access. So if I wanted to buy the dip, I would have to do it today. I would have to do it prematurely because I don't know if I'll have internet for the next few days. And I'm here in South Africa, which is not bad, but I'll be in other places. I'm going to be in Zimbabwe. I'm going to be in Kenya. I'm going to be in places where I may not have internet. So you have to take these buy the dip opportunities, but I would be looking to buy the dip here. I am not looking to short, no matter how bearish I am. Even if I'm bearish down to $1,000, I would never short like now. The time to short was before this giant candle. If you didn't short before this giant candle, this is not the time to short. All right, next. Okay, I took a look at the Footsie already. Bryzy, thank you for your little donation. Can you check the AUDUSD FX rate? Sure. Actually, I'm going to take a look at FX because I'm actually curious how the dollar is doing because I have not paid attention. Once again, please pay attention to the link scam and don't get scammed by it. FX. So we're going to start looking at FX with a look at the dollar itself. Let's look at DXY. DXY did not do very well in the beginning stages of the Corona situation, but now it has been rebounding quite Not that nicely, but nicely enough. Okay, let's look at AUDUSD rate. Oh boy, I should go to Australia. My dollars will go nicely there. This is unfortunate. Beautiful 9 right here, right at the high on the daily chart. The daily chart looks horrendous. It looks worse than the Bitcoin chart. Guys, I don't know what the hell you're doing in Australia, but it's not good. Print less money, maybe. I don't know. I don't know, but it's not looking good. I would not want to hold Australian dollars in any way, shape, or form. Is the weekly chart giving you a little bit of a relief? Yes, it is. So you have a 9 on a weekly scale. Now, this 9 candle isn't actually doing anything for you yet, but I would pay attention for a potential reversal either tomorrow or next week, maybe. We will see what happens there. But yeah, so I would not be shorting the Aussie dollar right now because of this weekly 9. If we were sitting in this vicinity here, if we were sitting like here with, maybe like there, and this red 3 is coming in on a weekly chart, there's a much better shorting environment. You're breaking prior lows. This is not a good time to short for the same reason that Bitcoin is not a good time to short right now. I want to look at the South African rand, actually, to be honest with you guys, because this is where I am. So while I'm here in South Africa, it's not the worst it's been in the last decade, but pretty damn close to it. So here's the rand since 08, and it's not looking good. Your currency has depreciated in the last 2 years, but I'm cherry picking the low. Probably shouldn't do that. You're down 50% in the last 2 years. If we split the middle here, you're down 25% in 2 years. That's not good. That's really, really bad. Now, again, you're getting some relief. The currency spiked earlier this week to 17 rand per US dollar. You're now pulling back. I do trust this 9 on a weekly scale. Rand should appreciate a little bit against the US dollar, but from what I see in the economics here, especially with losing electricity every day in every single region of the country, you are not on a good economic path, guys. You were doing much better, a decade earlier, like in this period here, even after the financial crisis, even though your inflation was rising, so that wasn't good either. But you were certainly doing better earlier this last decade, but it's not looking good. And all likelihood points to when the rand breaks this line, when the rand breaks 18, this may take another 6 months to do, but this is not looking good at all. I can certainly see horrible inflation. I can certainly see this, and that's not good. And that is not good. I really want to come back to Cape Town and spend some time there, but I also don't like countries. I like countries where the US dollar goes a long way, but I don't like it when there is when it's scary economic environment, because it gets dangerous in those countries. Okay. Next. Tone, Tyler Consensio just turned bearish on a weekly. What are the options? Yeah, so you want Consensio to turn bearish in a more calmer environment. Consensio turning bearish right now doesn't help you because you're so far below the Consensio lines. You're so far below the moving averages. So doesn't really help you. You need the markets to cool off a little bit, or at least bounce back to those moving averages before making any decisions. Tone, look at DLR. I don't know what DLR is, but I'll take a look. CNBC is talking about it. I don't know if it's a good thing or not. I'm gonna look at the Euro USD rate actually. All right, Euro bounced a little bit. Wow, and by a little bit, I mean like crazy. Oh, beautiful 13. Oh, like these candles, like this beautiful sequential 13. Just look at it. Jesus Christ. Gorgeous. Shot it right up. What about the daily chart? I know the other ones didn't do as good of a job. Don't tell me that's a 9 or a 13. That would be painful. Oh, God damn it. Got a combo, you got an aggressive, a couple of candles away from a sequential. All right. Well, it is what it is. Okay. DLR. What is DLR? Digital Realty Trust. Well, it's not doing that great. It's okay. I think Netflix is better, no? It's doing fine. I mean, I have no idea what they do, but they're certainly, whatever they're doing it right. See, this is a company that's doing something right. Look at that beautiful 9 right there. Just dropped the price. Well, the coronavirus had something to do with it, I'm sure. Like, this is the company that's doing it right. You want to see a company that's doing it wrong? It's really easy. MoneyGram. MoneyGram. I mean, besides the fact that they're supported by Ripple. Jesus, see? Yeah, Ripple really saved that company. Here's the Ripple pump. Boom. And look, new lows. Anyone surprised? You shouldn't be. Oh, almost new lows. Sorry. Sorry, MoneyGram. You're not at new lows yet. Let's give you guys another week. Okay? That's a company that's doing it wrong. You know, just look at it. People say remittance is ripping you off. If remittance was ripping you off, MoneyGram stock would be worth more than a cup of coffee, right? Western Union's doing it right. Western Union. I'm sure they're affected by Corona as well, but. Oh, we're on a monthly chart of Western Union. See, look at Western Union, right? Wow, last time I looked at Western Union, it was only up this much. Now it's up this much, okay? Look at Western Union. I mean, yeah, they got crushed with the Corona because, again, if the industry is shutting down, no one is going to be sending money from the first world to the developing world because, like, people in the developing world, you know, they know how to live on a few dollars a day. I mean, been doing it for a long time, unfortunately. But so I can see why MoneyGram just got crushed in the last few days, but they were on a good trajectory here. I mean, they were at a decade high. So there's a difference between companies that seem to know what they're doing versus companies that don't seem to know what they're doing. Once again, look at MoneyGram, right? The financial crisis really hits, Western Union hard, because if the economy shuts down in the developed world, that's their whole business. The entire business of Western Union is to send money from developed world to the developing world. And if the developing, now if you can't work in the developed world, MoneyGram has no business at all. So definitely got crushed with the Corona. Okay, next. Tone, what do you think gold and stock market does today? Well, I don't have to think. Stock market's open. Let's go take a look. All right. Oh, I'm looking at my messages. Market is open. Let's go. Let's go look. Whoa. There's your S&P weekly. We blew right through the 200-week moving average. But let's see how the day ends. Let's go to the daily. Actually, I'm going to go to the futures. Here's the futures daily. Is this live? Let me see. Let's go to a 10-minute chart. We are live. Here's our 10-minute chart on the futures. Yeah, we really crashed at the open here. Now, I would be looking for a 10 a.m. reversal here. I mean, nothing goes down forever. I'm surprised they haven't halted trading. Hold on. Why haven't the circuit breaker hit? We need to fall 10%. And we're almost there, guys. We're down 7%. So 3 more percentage points. 10%, right there. If the stock market falls to 46.70, they will halt trading. I don't believe that it will. We're going to go to the 5-minute chart. I really should get back to the conference, actually. I think there was people that wanted to interview me, but this is important. I never trade in the first 30, 15 to 20 minutes of trading, so I would not be trading this environment. I would wait for the 10 a.m. reversal, and I would trade that. Okay. Hey, as we're watching this, let's see how many live viewers we have. Are you guys still with me? 1,600, not bad. Yeah, the red 3 on a weekly is very bad, but you also have to keep an eye on the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones is a bigger leader here. The Dow Jones, I like the Dow Jones better. So the weekly of the Dow Jones is probably also on a 3, so that doesn't make any changes. That doesn't change anything. That looks like a 3 to me. Is it halted? Did they halt at 7%? I thought it was 10%. Maybe they've lowered it. It's possible that they halted trading. Back when I was on Wall Street, it was 10%. Maybe they lowered it. Looks like it's over. Looks like the trading has been halted. All right. Nothing more we can talk about. Gold is trading. Right? I'm on a delayed quote, so we have to wait, I believe, 5 more minutes. Maybe not. Here we go. I think gold will still be trading, so we can look at gold. 7.13 and 20. Yeah, they lowered it. It used to be 10 and 20 for halting, and I guess they lowered it to 7.13 and 20. $5% overnight and 7% during the day. Got it. All right, thank you guys. Thank you for the heads up. Yeah, it's changed since I was actively trading earlier in my career. Is there a circuit breaker for Bitcoin? That's funny. There might be on the CNE Futures, which would be silly. Can I look at Boeing? Sure. Look at Boeing. Oh boy. Wow. Wow. That looks bad, doesn't it? There's not much I can say. I mean, the same thing as the market. Like the Boeing is worse than the market. Crazy 9 right there at the top, but no one could have predicted that their planes would be crashing. Does hitting the circuit breaker change the 10 a.m. reversal? Well, of course, because it's not trading anymore. So the S&P is done. Would have been looking to buy the dip at 10 a.m. if I was actively trading futures. It depended on what the candles would have looked like. But all right, guys, I'm not sure what more I can say. Please support by using the affiliate page, and I will be more motivated to keep bringing you these updates and videos and answering your questions. The Dominican Republic Financial Summit, unfortunately, has been canceled, but man, it's so disappointing. Let me, oh, I think there's more questions coming. Let me just man. Look, let me show you. If those of you that are still with me, maybe I'll close out with Bitcoin. Let me just show you where the financial summit Dominican Republic was supposed to take place. It was supposed to take place here. It was supposed to take place in this castle. This is where the DR Financial Summit was going to happen. So we had reserved like a bunch of, like, these rooms are nice because you have this nice swim out, but we reserved the ocean view rooms like along the wall here, and this whole thing was like the presidential suite with its own private island. This is where we would have been doing the poker games and having the trading competition. This is what we had reserved, and this is where the DR conference got. These are like the high-end rooms. These are like the, I mean, that's the presidential suite, but these were their other penthouse suites that could have been available for those that were looking for upgrades. So these are, and this was going to be one of the, I wouldn't share these publicly earlier because we do want to, you know, not disclose where these events take place. But now that this event is not happening, the castle would have been right there to the right, and this was going to be one of our private dinners right in this restaurant right here. But these are the kinds of venues we do for the financial summits. This is the roof of the castle, and we're going to have a private dinner here on the roof of the castle with this pool. And yeah, it's so disappointing. This is inside the castle where the workshops were going to take place, not here on the water, but right down the hall in their conference center inside the castle. And here's a look at that presidential suite, which is right there, and the private island, this private island that comes with that suite for just hangouts, Joe smoking the cigars, and this is what we're gonna do it. Yeah, it's so disappointing. Like, I'm like looking at these pictures and killing me. These were going to be some of the upgraded suites that those that wanted to do the upgrades. The roof of the castle has its own private little pools. These are their these were their like high-end rooms, like their honeymoon suites and stuff. So that doesn't come with your entry fee, but if you wanted to upgrade, we had told the hotel to reserve a few for some of the high net worth guys that wanted to really live upscale at the top of the castle. They could have, you know, got those. So yeah, so this is the financial summit in DR that would have been, and unfortunately it had to be canceled. And also the Understanding Bitcoin has been moved to October 1st to 4th. All right, guys. All right, any more questions? Is this a black swan event? So, look, I don't want to sound like I can probably cut the camera at this point. Not really much to look at. Look, I don't want to sound like a dick, and I don't want to, you know, look, what's his name? The black swan guy, Nassim Taleb. Look, the question, is this a black swan event? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares what the name of this event is? The point is, it's the market crashed, and were you prepared? And how did you handle it? Whether it is or isn't defined as a black swan, who cares, right? Your definition of a black swan could be different than my definition of a black swan. Could be different than Talib's definition of a black swan. I mean, I didn't read the book cover to cover, but I'm familiar with the book. And I don't remember if are there quantitative metrics that identify what a black swan is. And as far as I know, there aren't. So the question of, was this a black swan event, is honestly irrelevant. It's really irrelevant. Were you prepared? Did your portfolio, did you get wrecked? And if you didn't get wrecked, then it doesn't, then it's fine. And if you got wrecked, does it matter? Like, does it help you in any way, shape, or form that 10 years down the line, everyone's going to talk about this as a black swan event? Like, who cares? I'm sorry, guys. Like, I hate to be insensitive to one of the most popular financial books ever, but it's really irrelevant whether I think it's a black swan, whether you think it's a black swan, or whether Talib thinks it's a black swan. I don't have a face mask. I'm so unprepared, guys. All right, I think it's time to call it a day. I think I'm gonna go back to the conference. I'll glance at Bitcoin one more time. I'm not, ooh, nope. We're going back to screen share. Oh boy. Oh boy, here comes the new lows. Well, that didn't last long. That didn't last long, did it? New low right there. So there goes my 20% chance that the bottom was in. Clearly, the 80% won. So since we are dropping to new lows and no one from the conference is begging me to come back, I'm gonna pause the audio and the video so that I can use the restroom, and then we'll get back. So take a little break. We're gonna put it on a low time frame of 4 hours, and I'll be back in about a minute. Back. We just made a new low, ever so slightly, but a new low it is. The low is 5.72054 and 5.71368. That is certainly a new low within margin of error. So I'm bearish once again. I mean, I have to be. I have no choice, guys. I have no choice. Oh, I should probably put the microphone on. Oh, okay. Let me go through my messages. My family is a little nervous about my life situation right now. Mom's asking, where are you now? I am in Johannesburg, South Africa. Off to a safari for the next tomorrow, for the next 2 days. Then Victoria Falls, Zimbabwe. All right, now parents know I'm alive. The simpler way would have been for them to turn on my YouTube channel and see me live, but hey, I'll take it. All right, I'm looking at your live chat, guys. Let's see what else we got. Stock to flow. Well, I've been saying for a long time the stock to flow model will probably fail, not long term, but like on a short term basis. And we'll see what happens. We will certainly see what happens. I mean, I do believe Bitcoin will go to 100,000, but not this year, not next year, maybe the year after, probably not. I don't have an N95 mask, but hey, so I will be in Kenya and I will be in Nairobi, Kenya for a few nights. If you are watching this channel in Nairobi, Kenya, and you have an N95 mask for me, please, I would love to pick one up. Otherwise, I will depend on my intermittent fasting and my carnivore diet to save me from the corona. Once again, people are misunderstanding. Carlo, this was supposed to be the Black Swan event that was supposed to see Bitcoin skyrocket. No, absolutely not. I completely disagree with that. The Black Swan event that could help Bitcoin is the collapse of the European common currency. That's probably the biggest one. The elimination of cash in certain countries. These are the events. They're not even black swans. They're somewhat predictable. I certainly would not have expected this event to rise the price of Bitcoin. In fact, I always said that in times of economic distress, you sell your valuable assets to put food on the table. Have Jimmy Song texting me, Tone, is this the dip you were looking for? The answer is yes, it is the dip, but I don't know if the dip is over. I have no idea. So right now I'm still bearish, but this certainly is the dip I was looking for, Jimmy. I'm really disappointed I'm not trading traditional markets. This would have been, I made decent money in the 08 financial crisis, not great. I could have totally capitalized on this, but unfortunately I did not. SPY is trading again. Is it really? That was fast. That was a short circuit breaker. No, it's not trading very well. We are back to the 5-minute chart, and whoa, and whoa. So what's the point of closing it down? That didn't help at all. How's the Dow? That's Boeing. Boeing on the weekly. Yeah, broke right through. Oh boy. Oh boy. That is not good. Okay, so where is reasonable support? At this point, well, the last time I sent out a tweet, I was saying how, hey, this would be reasonable support for the stock market. At this point, your next level of support, unfortunately, is here. That is your next level of support. 18,000 on the Dow Jones. What does that do for the S&P? Weekly scale. On the S&P, it's the Fibonacci line, 2,143. There it is. That is your next level of support, because clearly the current level of, unless we rally later this week, right? So there's still a chance that the 200-week moving average acts as support if we avoid closing below it and then spending an entire candle below it. Now let's go back to that 10 a.m. reversal, guys. It's not over yet. These are the 5-minute candles. This is 9:30 to 9:35. This is 9:35 to 9:40, and this is actually 9:50. So we skipped a couple of candles there. Look at the volumes coming back. we have a little bit of a shadow. There's no way I'm trading this particular candle. I will wait one more candle. All right, the sequential is actually irrelevant. It's just in our way. We can actually turn it off. It doesn't help us here. I am looking for that 10 a.m. reversal. It looks like it's it. I'm in. I'm going long. Somewhere here. Okay. A little prematurely, but I see this as enough strength. We had big volume on this candle. And we had a little bit of a upswing. Now you got to combine these candles together. So if we go to a 10-minute chart, this is starting to look a very nice hammer. Okay, probably got in a little bit late. If I was actively trading, I could have looked at the 3-minute chart. Though the circuit breaker didn't really help. Now let's go back to the 5. Okay, so where's the stop loss going to be? The stop loss is going to be initially right here, but I don't want to risk this much, right? Like, how much am I risking? This is the futures market. The futures market is very leveraged. So from my entry to the stop loss, that's 28 points. That's a lot of freaking points on the S&P. That's a lot of points on the futures market. That's wrecked. Wow, that is a wrecked waiting to happen on the S&P. So at this point, I'm already raising that stop loss to break even. The point is to make a good entry into the market, okay? And I will explain the leverage of the S&P. So right now, you are up 18 points on the S&P and more, okay? I am now raising this stop loss. So I would raise it. I want to make at least 10 points. If I'm going to risk that much, I want to make at least 10 points on the S&P. I'm raising that stop loss, guys. Now that's a trade. That is the 10 a.m. Catch the falling knife trade I used to do all the time. Okay. You just got to be careful. There are trading opportunities out there if you know what you're doing. It's not, I may have made this look easy, but it's not easy. Okay. It's really, really not easy. The world's not ending, guys. It'll be fine. It really depended on how big this trade was. Probably wouldn't have been that. This is a scary environment here. This is now I would now set my stop loss for a 20-point gain, even a 25-point, 30-point gain. We'll talk about how much that is in the futures market, in the ES, in a minute. I'm just watching this trade. That's the stop loss now. 30 caught a 30-point move in the S&P futures. And it's still going. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, I don't know if the Fed is printing money right now. I have no idea if it's a plunge protection team. See, I don't know and I don't care. I don't care if this is a black. I'm not going to waste my brain cells figuring out if this is a black swan event. What I'm going to do is I'm going to waste my brain cells trying to make the best trade possible. And this was the best trade possible that I saw. Not to short this environment, but to go long in this particular situation. And I would be raising my stop loss. I would now be up 50 points. I would set my stop loss to 50 points on the S&P. Jesus, look at it go. I still have 1,400 people watching. I would be up 50 points on the S&P futures. And look at the volume. Look at the volume come back. Still a 5-minute chart, guys. Got 20 seconds to go. Beautiful. I mean, I'm happy with a 50-point loss, 50-point gain on the S&P in the futures market. This would make, I mean, like, I'd never had a boom. I'm done. I'm out. I'm taking my gain. Taking my 50-point gain. I'm out. That reversed in a hurry. The futures are liquid enough. You would have gotten your exit. I'm done. There's a day trade for you. You're out. 50-point gain in the S&P in 5 minutes. I didn't have time to open my brokerage account to actually do it with real money, but like, because I was looking at TradingView. But this is the kind of stuff I would be doing. I don't even like to day trade, but this is the kind of stuff I would be doing if I wasn't doing YouTube videos and I wasn't traveling the world. I would have sat there this morning trying to do that trade, and man, I would have made bank. Do you guys have any idea how leveraged the futures are? Would it fill? Yeah, it would fill. The S&P 500 contract is the most liquid contract in the world. It would absolutely fill. It would fill in both directions. This is the most liquid asset in the world. Check Bitcoin price. Oh, GBTC, you're right. I should check GBTC. Interesting. How's the premium? You know, I thought the premium would be lower. Let me refresh this chart. So the S&P futures are not 100 to 1 leverage. The S&P futures are 50 to 1 leverage on the S&P futures. So with that trade that I made on the S&P, or if I would have made it actually, with this trade, earning 50 points on that trade of the S&P. So what does that mean? So if I would have traded 2 futures contracts on the ES, the E-minis, right? So if you go to, you know, ES contract, and I used to trade this, by the way, so this is, I'm not like making this up. ES contract, CME group. ES contract, look at the specifications, and I'll explain it. Settlement, contract spec, there it is. Okay, so here at 1250, right? So it trades at 25 and it's 1250. So, I mean, I used to trade 2 contracts at a time. I used to trade them in even numbers, just for simpler mental math, right? So every time the S&P futures contract, where am I here? Every time the contract went up 10 points on 2 contracts, I make $1,000 for 10 points. So if and 2 contracts was the minimum I used to trade. I used to trade 4, I used to trade 6, I used to trade them in just even numbers. So if I would have taken on 2 contracts, a 50-point move would have made me $5,000. And I really only need $1,000 in my account to pull off this trade. That's how leveraged they are, right? That's all I would need. Now, if I had traded 4 contracts, which I did most of the time, this would have been a $10,000 entry. This would have been a $10,000 profit off of only needing maybe, no, I would need more. I would have needed 10,000 in my account to pull it off. I think I needed, I may have to check the spec again. What is the collateral amount? Do they not say? They used to say in the spec. They don't say. That's unfortunate. There's also that's the E-mini contract. There's also the SP contract, which is 5 times more leveraged. but it has less liquidity because it's too leveraged for even the professionals. All right, let's go back to Bitcoin. Bitcoin bounced as well. I see some people in the chat picked up GBTC. I'm not going to be logging into my trading account right now. I'll see what happens tomorrow. Maybe I'll miss it. Maybe I won't. We'll see. This is strange. These things look way closer to each other. And that's my GBTC premium. So something is wrong. 5.7 versus 6.2. Yeah, that's about 10%. Yeah, that's right. That's about that. Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. That's a good premium. That's a decent premium. I'll still wait though. Someone said they picked up GBTC at 5.9. That's not bad. That's a good buy. It's a good. You're already up. You're already up nicely. All right, guys, I want to get back to the conference. I mean, I was the main keynote speaker, and I really should be there. So I think I'm ready to call it a day. Good luck to those that are trading. Be very careful. Trading is very difficult and not easy. And you can already see that even though the trade made me money, certainly ain't reversing the market all that much. I would not want to trade. I don't know if it's going to go up or down. I took this trade because it made sense. But right now, I would not. I mean, we can hit another circuit breaker. So that's it. That would have been a nice scalp in the S&P that I would have done had I been a day trader. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. Hey guys, if you want to support, please check out the affiliate page of tonevays.com. Bitcoin Motorist, thank you for Bitcoin Motorist, thank you for doing the questions. Yep, I see your latest message, Bitcoin Motorist. I'll take care of that. Can you take a look at ugly old gold's contango and backwardation? Not really, guys. I think I'm going to call it a day, maybe next time. The financial summit in DR, unfortunately, had to be canceled, and understanding Bitcoin has been moved to October 1st to 4th. Tickets will go on sale soon once we get a better handle on the Corona situation and seeing what's going on. All right, guys, thank you so much. And I mean, man, these numbers are getting out of control. I am in Africa. I'll be in Africa for until the US is safe to go back to or allows me to go back there. So I may be here for a little bit of time. All right, guys, I will talk to you all on the next one. Stay safe in trading and your health. Talk to you all on the next one, guys. Bye.